Wop wop, wop wop pow, boom, bang. Y'all hear that? Now, for those that can hear it, because the big G knows how to turn that ear off at the same time as he turns it on. So there's no need to try to unplug your ear because he's only going to plug it back again. You know what I'm talking about? I know that it's an irritating feeling, but it's for a reason, you know? So, of course, I'm doing what I do, or work, right? Work. I'm working, and all of a sudden I hear chatter. Chatter. Yes, I'm hearing chatter. And apparently, someone mama wears panties because someone felt froggy. So the other person leaped into their existence. After so much listening, you know, after so much listening to how somebody truly feels about you, at some point, now is the time. You're just like, okay, all right. Because they always say, yada, 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 ether. And then every time, absolutely every time, they say my name spiritually, the person that they're really talking about hears theirs because they don't want no smoke with ether. Y'all know that. So we gonna stop just acting like they do because they don't. Now, it was so many, I mean, thousands of individuals that felt like something wasn't for them. And they proceeded to go in the kitchen and whip up some seasoning. Now, when I said, you better not eat that, apparently he thought I was tripping. I said, you better not eat that. Because everybody's trying to figure out how, if you take a Lawry's seasoning jar, well, it's not a jar, but y'all know, and you put a little bit of this in there, a little bit of that in there, how do you get sprung? Because there's some extra seasoning in the sauce. Yeah. Now, what's in there? Only the big G can tell you. It's a combo in there. It's a combination of what you smell and what you see. Now, this is what happens. All right? Yada, yada, yada. Ether. He's going outside to see if it's outside because apparently the big G turned to zero on when he came in alive. He has a way of doing that. It'll have you tripping, but he's not sipping, so. Y'all see Grandma to the stove? Grandma went and got a big old bottle of that Erkin jerk, and it's on and popping. And when the other grandma went in there, she was already on one, so she completely missed the eggnog. She didn't think it was in there. So y'all ain't gonna have eggnog tonight. So, because you don't want to go to the grocery store. Now, when I said someone was cooking king crab for Christmas, she already had enough turkey. Everybody wanted to know what I ate. And I said I ate ham. Yep, I ate ham. I didn't eat no turkey. Y'all eat turkey? Y'all eat turkey for Thanksgiving? Because nobody feels like, somebody feels like I don't have nobody that love me. It's a belief that every last member of my family is gone. You know what I'm saying? Every last one. Yeah. When they try to remember which one is still there, they say, well, he don't like her anyway. Apparently. Just talking about my son, talking about. Imagine that. My own child not liking me. But I want to say seasons, greetings, and cheer and bliss to all of you for the holidays. You know, the last few holidays I did celebrate. This is after a few years of not celebrating because I was trying to find myself. You're into that conscious gate and you start hearing this is associated with paganism and this and that. You say, I don't want no part of that. Because first of all, I don't even know what that is. Is it a witch? No, but they're affiliated with that. And so, for those that are wondering, Krampus is a part of paganism, for sure. That's for sure. So, when you all are out there, saying your prayers at the Paganism Krampus Festival, then, you can thank Ether and say, Ether informed me that I was indeed celebrating the pagan holiday, because that for sure is one. Y'all seen the monster that comes down that path, that cobblestone? In some places, yeah, it's pretty scary. You look and you say, what is that? How did they come up with that concept? Time warp. And you're just sitting there, and somebody seen a brawl at work today. That was interesting. Yeah, yeah. In the hood, for those that are interested, apparently it's not a squab until one of those boobs pop out. You know what I'm talking about? If you don't see no boobage, it's not really a squab. Yeah, just letting you know. So it's about 600 that bore witness to a brawl while on the clock. That's interesting. That's always fun. Let me think. Have I ever seen a brawl while on the clock? Oh, yes, I have. Interesting enough, it was in Oakland by Chabot. Yeah, I was sitting there. Matter of fact, all of them, all the brawls that I seen was in the town with couples too. Yeah, it starts off really quiet, and then it just escalates. And you're sitting there, and you're like, long as they stay over there, it's all right. I agree. Apparently, someone feels like their significant other or girlfriend has completely lost it. I guess that's all those reversals. It's reversed. Apparently. Just like that chaos and conflict ritual that they did. Because every time it happens, we all get to see who it truly influences. And then you start saying, okay, well, if it was meant for me, and you was in there like Neo in the Matrix, diverting, you know what I'm saying? It didn't catch you, like they thought. Yeah, it didn't get to you like they thought it would. So that's a good thing. That's always a blessing. I told y'all what was gonna happen. Everything was gonna get intense, and then it was gonna be some brawling with them. It always happens. It's been happening like this for 3 years, but they didn't peep game until I just told them, because I have to tell them what's going on. Now it's quieting down because they decided, well, she did after she got hands, toes, and knees, bows, and elbows put on her, that she was going to be quiet this time, because apparently she don't believe you talking about me. She keep hearing her name. And, last time I checked, he not in the bed with me. You know what I'm talking about? You know what's interesting? When you see someone brawl over somebody you used to be with, that's fun. That's always fun. You're sitting there and you're like, well, you start thinking, was it that good? Let me see. 10s and 20s, 50s and 40s. No, it wasn't that good. Because them scratches last a long time, you know what I'm talking about? They last an awful long time, you know. I had to tell one of them, you know, I appreciate you. I had to tell one of them, look, you cannot cook, eat what Latrice is eating. You can't do that. You know what I'm saying? She don't like it when you do that. I had to tell her because apparently she feel like she listening to you, but that's the other Latrice. You know, I imagine it's like 150,000 billion Latrices in the world. So she don't know which one she talking to because she knows like 8 of them. It's Latrice, Lanice, Patrice. You know, it's always a Treese and Tracy. You know what I'm saying? You know, it's always a Treese somewhere. Now they all trying to figure out, is she talking about me? I don't know. Let's wait until they do another chaos and conflict ritual. Let's see. You know, if you in my age bracket, right? You bearing witness to a lot of fisticuffs, because that's what a fisticuff is. It's a squab. You know what I'm saying? You know what a squab is. That's the proper way of saying brawl. Yeah. Now brawl means, you know, that, you know, usually it's 2 pros, but you know, some tag you like they're a pro. Pop, you know, pop you right there, and you just be like, what day is it? Did I go grocery shopping? I seen a vision, y'all. Somebody, let me tell y'all, the big G so cold. Listen, these ones don't want me to know what they're talking about. It's always me, because I'm the reader. Okay, when it comes down to my job, I'm the reader. So they don't want me to know what they're talking about. But I know what I'm supposed to know because I am the oracle of the ether. So I'm supposed to know, right? They know they being monitored by the Isikianas and the underworld. You know, they know that. But they know the underworld don't do nothing. They just say, you know what I'm saying? If you do something, you know, really out of pocket, then, you know, they gonna, but, you know, they being monitored for a reason. You know, so these ones, they understand that, right? They said, we know they there because they allow us to know. Because someone say, you know, either capping, she not really protected, you know, her members is not protected and blah, 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 blah. But they is, and they know why they protected, and they know that they can't touch none of my members. They know that because we're moving, y'all. It's about to get serious because I feel it, you know. Somebody finna come in here and start saying random words. He one of the ones that just got a wop wop, but he gonna act like he not. I was just speaking about you. You are one of the ones that said you was my son, but you couldn't figure out which son. So when I seen that vision, I said, I know which one he said he was, but he don't know how old he is. Because let me tell you, they want me to see, look, listen, y'all, they want me to see my offspring so I can send them sympathetic emotions, feel sorry for them, protect them spiritually. It's not happening, Cabinet, because they all got their own protection. Trust and believe. And let me say this, if your child, adult child, is an NSVJ and they make it through the ascension, it's because they supposed to, regardless of what they're going through right now. Because NSVJ is a serious topic, especially amongst the minorities, because those are the ones that don't believe it's capable of happening. Others do. And I hate to be like that, you know. I do. But I'm telling y'all that in the black community, they don't feel like things are possible spiritually. And this is why it's so much pushback when it comes down to the Lowry's chick. You know, he feel like, you know, the chicken is good. It's rather salty. Do y'all agree that you know, it's kind of salty, that one, that blend? You know, But the McCormick is still, kind of, it just depends. I haven't, I I stopped using that blend a long time ago. I like to get mine separate, salt separate, pepper, onion powder. I like the onion powder because it comes with the parsley and stuff. I don't like the blend because everything tastes like everything. You ever notice that? Like when you become a cooker, not a gourmet cook, but when you become a cooker, you start noticing that certain things, you know, don't taste right with seasoning salt because that's what it is. I remember when I used Old Bay, whatever that. That's when I called myself making some jambalaya. You know what I'm saying? Then that's when I really realized that I do not like the taste of seafood. I don't like it. It is Old Bay, right? Because is that cologne? Which one of y'all smelling like grandpa? Cause my grandpa, oh, it's Old Spice. You know what I mean? Bring back Old Spice. Hey, I smelled Old Spice about maybe 15 years ago. They got a new blend. It smelled good. You know, it came out with that what's that bod? Remember that? Y'all remember bod? I have my sons around here with that bod. Yeah, they got their little stocking stuffers and you know what I'm saying? Listen, oh, he's simmering down. He's simmering down because he got a shiner right now. And it's the it's just gotta leave people alone. You want to mess with innocent people because you feel like they're good fights. I don't know where you picked that up at. First and foremost, if they're innocent, the big G is going to send protection. First and foremost. So if you feel like you're gonna go around the community and decide you're gonna put a T on someone and their child, he gonna send protection. And that's just what the you world want. That's what they want. They want you to do that. You know, because they want to show you that they are real. It is a paradigm shift ascension finale. And that means there's evidence and proof all around, even with him. Yeah, I see it all my whole life, y'all. I believe that we needed an intercessor to talk, and we did, but for several reasons. Because of the contract, the originals, and I'm telling you, that's how long it lasts. He be holding a grudge, y'all. You think it's before Common Era, not before Christ. It's BCE for a reason. That is an example of information that comes out in distortion. And any information that comes out in distortion is always popular because it is pushed amongst the minorities. These beliefs are not the same in other places. Uh, when you're talking about missionaries and stuff like that, there's different beliefs about missionaries. It's not just in Catholicism. Okay, it's different types. When you see those young men with the black pants on and the white collar and the black ties, that's missionary work. Is several types. You talking about the Latter Day Saints? Okay, you don't want to mess with them. No, those is not the ones you want to mess with. And see, a lot of people don't realize that an organization is the way it is for a reason. It's so many that want to talk about. He wants to talk about the 33 degree, and that's a different type of Mason. We're not going to talk about that because the last time I told you, when I encountered one in the physical, he said that he would have to, you know, do away with me if he told me the secrets of that. But I knew he was, and there are orders. Yes, there are. They're right there in your face, but some don't recognize them. If you were to go to one of those establishments where they have that symbol, you would understand that they are not the same type. Y'all want to know the secrets. You want to know who's an original Mason. And then none of the originals are Masons. There's something else. Now you know that that did not start with them. Their belief, their symbols started with them. So you have to understand that there is a difference. Because I don't have my chat open, one of my team members is coming in. This is a totally different one. Let me tell you something. They sound similar. When she come in, she when she gets me to trip up on words like right now, it is because where she is at, she's listening to somebody. And as soon as they say what she wants them to say, she enters into their domain spiritually. Y'all gotta understand that this is no cap because you y'all have to understand that these ones is not right. Y'all will say, well, why the big G letting this happen? Yeah, he stutters. Why the big G let this happen? Why the big G is allowing this? It is because he turned his back on the originals. Now you can say I'm not an original. You don't know. You don't know if you was born in that era, the era after, the era after. I know how old my being is, but most of y'all don't know how old y'all being is. Now let me talk about this for a minute. When you get to a certain point in your ascension progress, you are told certain things. If you ask certain questions, he'll give you an answer. But that don't mean it's going to stay the same, because if you're multi-dimensional, the answer is going to be different for each place you were present in. I'm talking about it so eloquently or easily because I live it. Now, I told y'all before, if y'all, especially those of you that travel, now this is something that a regular person could do. If you feel like you multi-dimensional, right? Take a picture of yourself. Don't say it's water weight gain. Don't say I'm swole from the salt. What it is you're someplace else. I see it all the time. Now I know what to look for. I can tell if I see someone on a daily basis. Some of you, you're going to notice things about your coworkers. Just because someone is multidimensional don't mean they're present in all places. Just a few. Now, when I talked about the ghouls that ascended and descended, they ascended because they were supposed to. When they ascended, they descended because they were supposed to. These ones will not stop. I can sit here and tell you all day long the stuff that they do. They're going to try to figure out something else to do or to use whatever I'm saying against whoever, because that's the way they think. That's the way they've been programmed. I've seen visions of people talking in their sleep. Y'all done already, y'all know y'all done seen people talk in their sleep. Have full-fledged conversations. You most don't question why. They're talking to someone. Even if they're, you do realize that if your being leaves your body, you can still talk. Because it's your being. Your being is somewhere talking, and you can still you can still talk through your mouth. These are the phenomenal things when it has something to do with living. Even when your body is no more, you can still hear a voice if the big G wants you to hear one. Those of you that are able to hear the big G, he not standing in front of you with no body. It's coming from somewhere. Let me tell you, somebody is trying to listen to that conversation and they trying to unplug that ear and they feel like it's a whole bunch of wax in there. It may be, but let me tell you something. Your ears are getting ready to drain too. Let me tell you something. When he do that, it's because it's something that you're not supposed to hear. So just bear with it. It could be irritating. It feels like water is in your ear and it comes out of nowhere. You'll be sitting there and listening, and then all of a sudden one of your ears is plugged. And if you happen to unplug it, he'll slowly plug it back again. He be messing with us, you know. Y'all, is that, look, wife. Wifey! They be feeling good, you know. That's my wife. I'm his wife. Those of you that had that title before, you say, I remember that. That's my wife you talking to. You talking about my wife. Wife. The stronger the emotion, the more you just be like, I love him. He said I was his wife. You see my ring? The thing, listen, those of you that bought your own ring like I did, right? Because when they up and coming, look, yeah, I keep it funky. Listen, when they up and coming, there's a whole story to why I end up buying my own ring, right? It's because he had one, but I ended up buying one, right? Listen. Those of you that bought your own ring, you say, I brought more to the table anyway. You know what I'm saying? I didn't quite have a table of my own, but I brought more to the table that we shared together. So it wasn't no big thing. He young, you know what I'm saying? He gonna be all right. He gonna, you know what I'm saying? That's the I'm riding to the rusty wheels fall off phase. That's the stage I was in then, because I was his wife. Let me tell you something. It was a whole lot of females that wanted him. Okay. And as soon as we got married, they showed their face. They said, yeah, we want him right now because he got a ring on his finger. So let me tell you something. To those of y'all that feel like that ring is a deterrent, not for these ones, that means he is available. He might not be available all week. And don't you start, you know what I'm saying, being a tag along. Don't you start that because you wasn't tagging along, and that's why you got chose in the first place. That's right. Come on, Pastor. You was not tagging along in the first place, and that's why he chose you. You was just riding to that rusty wheel, Father. Ain't nothing wrong with it. Now, the problem is when he decided to leave. Now, let me tell you something. The ones, listen, let me look. The women that leave first are not Afro Americans. They're not. Okay, we don't leave first. We don't do that. We ride until that rusty wheel fall off, and he meets somebody of another race. When he meets somebody of another race, then ain't nothing you can say, because she the wifey now. He gonna throw the phone away. All the pictures, he gonna leave all the clothes, all the furniture. It don't matter no more. Them is the ones that do Hexcanaz. You saying either. You said that it's not possible. Yep. Yep. Them is the ones that you encounter every life, and they feel like you ain't got enough money this lifetime. So since you belong to them, they gonna see you next lifetime. Y'all know what I'm talking about? Y'all like that? See you next lifetime. Type ish. You know what I'm saying? What? Let me see. How many black women do y'all know? All races could join in. How many black women do you know leave first? They going to the pastor, they going to the sister, the mama, the grandmama. They going to the friend saying he gonna leave you. You need to leave. Stop giving the money. Why you buy him that car? You oop it. I told you. Don't come around here with that little baby because I told you not to have him in the first place. That's what. And then she gonna let him right on in. because that's what happened in the Afro community. It happens in others too, but the situation is different. Okay. Bob cheated. Okay, for instance, Bob cheated. Sarah, can you believe that Bob cheated? He cheated on me after 23 years of marriage. I'm divorcing him. That's how it go. In the black household is Bo cheated. Bo cheated on me, and that wench always wanted him. She always did. She not finna get my man. I done spent too much time and money on him. Now say it's cap. That's how it be. Is it all from hexes? Yes. Because anyone in their right mind, when someone doesn't want to be with them, they leave. You ever just see someone that is just, and fine, fine. And they just can't get over their ex. You like, just shut up. Just shut up. You know, I'm looking at you and your hair remind me of her real hair. She had real hair and you don't. Type-ish. Every time I look at you, it just reminds me of what I lost. You know what I'm talking about? That's when I said that there was no need to compete. You know what I'm saying? I was talking about you too. There was no need to compete. There's healing with someone, especially when you married. Okay, common law and everything. When you been with someone for years, you gonna take it. It's gonna be. Say you was with somebody, married to somebody for 4 years. It's gonna take you at least 2 to get over them. Now, if you didn't put a lot of money into it, oh, it's gonna be every bit of 8. Y'all was only together for 2 years, but it's taking you 8 years to get over it. Listen, because you feel like, when they get to talking, that pillow talk, you know what I'm saying? Even standing up, that pillow talk, man, he told her about what happened to him when he was 8, type-ish, yeah. You think that you bonding, you know what I'm saying? At that moment, it's a therapeutic release there, you know what I'm saying? Because he's been holding it in, and you are his soulmate, but you think you his wife, are you going to be? And you're there for that purpose, for him to let it all out, and he does, you know? And he ascended right there, and right before your eyes. You just didn't tell. You couldn't tell. He got smarter and wiser. And then, because the contract was slowly coming to an end, a contract that is supposed to last for 3 years, if somebody is not paying attention to the signs and synchronicities, it could take up to 26 years for that to end. And then you have those situations where Brooke and Steve was together for almost 30 years. They was together for almost 30 years. These O's is trifling. They just don't want nobody to be married. There's always one of them. And then you find out that she creeping with her best friend's husband. That's how they be so convincing. Yeah, this is a true story. Look, they be so convincing when they be sitting there, gassing you up with premium. You be sitting there like, oh, Sheila. Oh, Sheila. He did it to me again. What'd he do this time? He slept with his baby mama. I could tell because he got a smell on him every time he lay with her. I didn't say nothing, no, because I'm not that type. I'm going to one up. Even at 60. Even at 60, 60 years old, I'm going to still one up these YNs. Because that's how I do. They could do it at 60. So why can't women do it? Females. Why can't females do it? Because women don't think that way. Why can't females, you know, you ever just feel like somebody has arrested development? Because I do. It's entertaining for YNs, but, you know, when they start growling at you when you walk into an establishment, you know, yeah. Y'all remember Zsa Zsa Gabor? Yeah. That's the call of the cougar. He don't bit much know who know Zsa Zsa is. He know Yaya, but he don't know who Zsa Zsa. Yeah. That's the Green Acres, boo. You know what I'm saying? If you don't know about Green Acres being the place to be, farm living is not the life for me, because I am not from the South. You know what I'm talking about? Hint, hint. Yeah. It's about 70 people feeling like they don't want to get old. You know what I'm talking about? So we gonna move along. We had I said Sheila. That was Sheila. Now it's about 10,000 billion trillion quadrillion Katrina in the world. It's a whole bunch of them. So I'm not talking about that one yet. Y'all know it's an interesting pool. You know what I'm saying? Oh, this one I took a picture of. Let's see. Was it two? No, it was the beginning of the week. It was the beginning of the week. But you know, because I'm populating my other tiers of content. Now y'all may say, either if nobody's there, you don't need to put it there. I beg to differ. I beg to differ. Y'all don't know who is doing what and what type of arrangement I have with anyone, because I pride myself in keeping my mouth shut when I'm paid. That's what I'm talking about. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Bona fide and certified. You know what I'm talking about? You know what I'm saying? I don't care. You know what I'm saying? I do not care. You know what I'm saying? You know? One of them was trying to, I can't say certain words that y'all know I know, because they're going to start using them. Listen, it's not the time. One of these females feel like, you know, she here, so when she here, I don't like talking. You know, it's a whole group. It's spiritually, because there's somewhere. Okay, let me explain to what y'all is bearing witness to. There are individuals somewhere else inside the chat. Okay, they may not be in the chat you in. They may not be in this chat that I'm seeing right now. Now you understand. Y'all, how is this possible? You have to ask the big G. How is it possible? He does a lot of things. You know, one thing, y'all listen, for those of you that come out and you feel like it's condensation on your car in the morning, it ain't that much, you know what I'm saying? One time I came out and it was so much water. I said, did it rain last night? And I looked on the ground and the ground was dry. It be that type, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, it'll cause moisture inside the car, but everybody else car don't got it. I told y'all what happened to me when I pulled up to the light. When I when when the rain hit the window, and some say, look at some say, look, this is the big G doing it. He's saying, look, not with a voice, but he's saying, look, that's your nudge, that's your intuition. The big G like look at the window on the side of you, and they wipers is not on, but you right there. You right in the next lane. Okay, so say you in the diamond lane and somebody is in the next lane next to you. You know what I'm saying? That's how close. Y'all know if you're driving, y'all know how the lanes are. So it's not me way over there across the street. I want her to leave. But I said, you know how many. Okay, let's put it this way. You know how much angelic energy it is? So y'all gotta stop thinking that all of this angelic energy is energy that that likes you, first of all. And like deceptive pantheons. The word deceptive is gonna throw you for a loop. That means they're going to do things even to the innocent to get the person that they want. The God said his archangel seraphims do not lie, because they don't. He didn't say no other type of angel or any type of angelic being does, or does not. So that means, when I said that there's different kinds of angels, okay, I meant that. That means it's different breeds, different kinds, different places. They call them different things other places. Some of y'all believe that Orishas are pantheons, and they're not. She wants me to start talking. Some of these Orishas are not pantheons. Well, some of them are not Orishas. She likes it. If I tell y'all, if I tell you, I say, "Itch, get out of here." When I get mad and she leave, she leave. And she not a pantheon. This is somebody that wants someone that keeps going into that chat. And if she can get me to say something, this one too. They irritate me, y'all. So I'm not finna get off. What I'm gonna do is say Asikina Sashakati, because I done already banned them. I don't care what type. To me, they not helping me. They trying to help themselves. What I feel like happens with these ones is these is the ones that my universe parents want. And because they keep coming in disturbing me while I'm working, because they do it when I read too, and they keep coming in disturbing me, eventually they're going to end up with them. Because when we go through time warps like we just did, that's what happens. They don't realize that they're being moved until they're there. Some of them have like say they got, just for instance, 10 times. You got 10 times to do something after I've already stated not to do it. That 10th time, I done already moved somewhere, so when they get it, they'll know. They'll know. Some of them are pantheons, some of them are not. Some of them y'all think is Orishas and they're not. Some of y'all feel these are Nigers or Netarus and they're not. It is because you'll call upon something in the wrong name, the wrong dialect, and they feel like that's the way in. I know, let me tell you, all of them that have done it, right? When they get somewhere, I hear them say spiritually, sorry, ether. That means it's over. That means they can't do it no more, because these ones, those of you that you feel like you have angelic guidance, this is why I said, watch it. because not everything that channels you or you channel is an angel, especially when you ascend. Even if you say, I only want angels, am I talking to an angel? If someone else says yes, if you hear a yes somewhere, they're going to start talking. Because they're not going to say, I done told y'all. These ones, they keep asking stuff spiritually. And when they do that, these ones come back in. So I'm going to refrain from answering any spiritual questions. I have to do this. These ones, for those of y'all that are concerned, they don't want conversations with the general public. They want these ones that are saying that they're psychic, saying that they're eating gourmet dishes, that, but, these ones got issues, y'all. They say all kind of stuff. And this is what I really don't get. I don't want to be too upset, because I know that these are the ones that'll say they're doing everything under the sun, and then when they get there, they don't have that frequency on them. But they just keep talking. They want some attention. What it is there's a group of dudes that they feel are popular. Some are, some of them feel like they're going to be up and coming stars. They're going to be known in the industry because they're local celebrities. This is why I got a hood celebrity card, because it be these young goofy ones that y'all know, you know what I'm saying, El Bonisha, the ones that come in there and choo choo on the studio, the ones that all the wives be worried about when they do be at the studio, the El Bonisha. Y'all do know that there's some producers that do not allow El Bonishas in the studio because they do not care. Because they'll be in there gobbling up everything in a line. Gobble, gobble, gobble. Y'all remember Pac-Man? Gobble, gobble. Y'all know it goes down in the studio. You saying how? How when they paying for studio time? That's when you're not signed. When you sign, you don't have to pay for studio time. You know what I'm saying? That's one of the perks. You know what I'm saying? That's one of the perks. Perks. Lean with it, rock with it. You know what I'm saying? That's one of the perks of being signed. Apparently, that's what he said. There's a whole bunch of elbow niches. Some live for that, for that glory. They want to be in the studio so they can say they didn't actually lay down with El Bonisha. They was standing up on their tippy toes in it. So it don't count. It don't count if you laying down. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? If no sleep, it counts if you laying down. She thinks she's slick. Yeah, I'm finna get upset, y'all. Let me tell y'all. If I could, I get so mad sometimes that they do it to y'all too. Now y'all understand that these ones you don't want nothing to do with it, and this is why they do it to us. It was a group that felt like they was not gonna let me be until they got a message out. They didn't care, and when you got individuals, feeling like they doing sorcery and they getting me to do free readings, then you got these mothers, you know what I'm saying, doing what they do, it kind of take you off. Like I was saying, like if I could get my hands, like I definitely would go up against a lot of them. Some of the ones that y'all feel should be feared, I would go up against. These are females. I would go up against, and so would my universe mother. I'm not even gonna tell you who she is because then it's gonna be a whole another situation. It is Shanna Guyenne, but you don't know her Niger name. So what I'm gonna say is I'm not getting off. They know who Shanna Guyenne is. These ones here. When I'm moving, y'all, I'm moving. This is what I'm telling y'all. I am not capping about my life. There was a conversation that I had spiritually because there's a group of individuals that are going to an ascension. Don't say it. And because I already know what's going to take place, I told them, okay, what they should do. Now, if they do something else, that's on them. What I'm not going to answer that question. My hopes is that I get close enough to him so my universe father could just snatch it. They definitely would. They definitely would. Y'all, it's a topic. Androgyny is a hot topic amongst some of these groups. And it's for a reason. I talked about this before. There's some requested to be a different gender in the next life. And this is the reason why you have people saying, I feel like I'm this inside. Okay. Now if you a ghoul, you know what I'm saying? If you a ghoul, all ghouls are male, even if you start off female. So that's just definite most certainly it certainly is accurate. I done been in places physically, okay, where I done seen some stuff and had to act like it was normal, okay, because I didn't want, you know what I'm saying? You know how you feel like everybody might be like that, but you just don't know. You know that saying, when in Rome, do what the Romans do. You know what I'm saying? That's it. I had to just be like, you know, I'm looking, but I'm not. And then you get this feeling like when they get fur enough, you don't want to be looking at them because you kind of feel something, telling you that they gonna turn around and look. And it happens all the time. I done been places where I done seen people that you just be like, what is that? You know what I'm saying? You know, look, it happens all the time. I didn't see some anomalies, and you just be like, remember in one of my lives I said, y'all, where are all the people that there's a popular show on this platform that highlights certain type of defects, illnesses, isms, okay, and like with the spectrum. Growing up, I knew of ADHD, but I didn't know nothing about autism. It was the Asperger's. I know I'm not saying it right, but when I say it, it's some people that feel like they could poke fun at it. So I know I'm not, but that's how I say it. So if y'all hear me say it, there's no disrespect. You know, that is a part of the spectrum, apparently. So the spectrum means there's different levels. You can have a mild case, and you can have an extreme case. So that is the first one that I know of that is in alignment with autism. Okay, that means it's not as severe as autism. We knew that there were children that are grown, that have children now and everything else, grandchildren probably, that were different from the other because they were quiet. But that's the Asperger's. Okay, we knew that it was hypertension ADHD, children that was overactive and stuff like that. These are all medical isms. Let me put it like that. Okay, so some get prescribed things because of that. Now most Afro Americans are used to the ADHD, the child that is overactive. Okay, we know that we have the children that seem to be loners. That's what we would call them back in my day. That means they wasn't hanging around with the popular children. They wasn't on the basketball team. They were more into books and games and stuff like that. The reason why it's important is I made a comment. He did. I made a statement. You talking to somebody. That happens too. I made a statement. I was talking to the angels, and I said, where are all these people? Because I never run into conjoined twins and stuff like that. I said, well, maybe they keep them inside. Like they keep them inside. There's a place where people see them all the time. I have never, ever seen one. That's just an example. Now, if they were separated, I didn't know it. If they were separated, they're not conjoined then. You know what I'm saying? Some of y'all, because I'm trying to explain what I'm talking about, and I got, these ufalelas. You know what I'm saying? I don't care what they. I told y'all, I don't care if they're my auntie. I don't care if they my universe mama sister, I don't care. You know what I'm saying? They get on my nerves. And that's how it be when you're someone like me. It's not just me that has to deal with these types. Once you stop believing that everyone is an angel all the time, you'll understand. These ones that called in all kind of stuff. And that's why y'all need to watch my readings. Y'all feel like, oh, this one, it's not for me because of the title. I can say on my title, burgers. You know how many people, this used to happen to me all the time. People would email me and ask me, if I remember, can I send them the reading that talked about whoop, 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 whoop. That's just for instance. Because it didn't play out then. When I uploaded it, when they watched it, it played out later. Or they remembered something and then they put two and they didn't pay attention when it came out. That's when my readings was like an hour. Now I don't want to sit for no hour because I got all of the. I can't wait. They'll sit back and say we are her team. They get attitudes because in their mind it's only a certain group that's going to see something, but that don't mean that it is true. They feel like I'm trying to explain to y'all what's going on, and y'all gotta understand that they don't want. First and foremost, there's a group, right, that wanted angelic guidance. Okay, there's a reading that I did. The one that I put out, the latest one that I put out on the donation tier. That one, a certain group, not necessarily angels, wanted that one. They wanted that one to come out for a certain person. And that's what I'm talking about. Y'all, he wanted to see if it's him. This one, there's one that feels like if he comes in my live, when I move, he's going to move. And this is why I said, if I come on one time and I'm just sitting, ain't no telling. I might fart real loud. You know what I'm saying? Get his attention. Because there's one, he's so out of it. He feel like every time somebody fart, it's me. So, yeah, it's a group that feel like they separated their presence, but that's not what it is. I can't tell them what happened to them on live because I don't want to get flagged. But you didn't separate your presence. Somebody else did. Now, that one that I did on the donation tier, that one was important because that was coming from the crossed over. So that was a reading that I did not intend on doing because it would have been placed different and there would have been an addition to what was there. But when I spoke to them, they said, Ether, we're not going to talk through you anymore. Regardless if y'all hear them or not, because you always gonna hear archangels. We're not going to talk through you anymore because you don't want to work with us. That's how it should be. If you are a channeler, if you are a medium, if you are a psychic, you should have the option of channeling certain types, pulling certain energy, and this and that. Okay, this is I guess this is the reason why some don't like to do reversals, but I say they don't want to do the reversals because they haven't memorized the chart. Okay, fair enough. These ones that say that they're psychic, that they're high priestess, sorceress, magicians, wizards, ogres, anything that they seen on my table, they gonna say that they are. They call and say they want angelic guidance. None of the angels is messing with them like that. So, when they call on stuff, they mispronouncing everything, and they didn't call on something that they can't get rid of, not even with sage. When they try to call something else, because some of you are worried about what if they call something else, they're not in that place and they're not in that phase where they could do that. Some of these ones have had hostile takeovers. Y'all know I talked about in the reading, the recent upload for the public, that somebody felt like the person that they knew was not the person inside that body that they know belonged to someone that they knew. The phenomenons like walk-in spirits. That's a real concept. That's a real thing. Like, I know that it's possible. I know, I can tell you who has had that experience, even if they can't, because a lot of time their mind will go blank. They'll only remember certain things. They'll forget things. Like if you talk to someone, they'll forget that they talked to you. Like little stuff like that. I'm going to go ahead and get off, y'all. Happy holidays.